Hello everybody, welcome back to another Kerbal Lag Simulator video, and in today's video we are going to be sending this like very big town, mobile town rover type-esque thing out to the Mun today. That's going to be today's mission. We can go ahead and get our UI pulled up, get SAS on, fire up the engines, and get into the air. I'm going to get a time-lapse going here in just a few seconds so you guys don't have to deal with like the 10 FPS like I did. Yeah, so there we go, we can get it going on this. This is a big rocket. This is a very big rocket. It has all the stages, all the boosters, all the more boosters, all the epic boosters, and yeah. So first thing we're going to do is do a little bit of a roll program, because roll programs are cool, and we can kind of get ourselves oriented the proper way. I'll do a little bit of a more detailed tour of the rover when we get to the Mun, because this thing has like all sorts of gimmicks. There are also sorts of random cool things. It actually has I have quite a bit of the interior built out, so it'll be cool to kind of show you guys around the inside of this thing, do some cool stuff as an antenna falls off. Guess that we didn't really need that one. That was just a recommended feature. Yeah, now we can just start our gravity turn. Yeah, so this rover, I'll talk a little more about it when we get into orbit, but yeah, basically the gist of this thing is it's like a roving surface base, but like also kind of like a town. It's like a big rover, but it has. But it's like, yeah, it's like a base, but it can drive around, and it's big and huge and epic and awesome and amazing, or maybe it sucks. I don't know. You guys can let me know. Definitely lags a lot. Well, it doesn't lag really that much without the rocket. The rocket really does add quite a bit of lag, and some of that lag is getting ready to go away here as the 6 side boosters are just about to run out of fuel. This thing is onion stage, so the side boosters are pumping fuel into the center core, so it's going to be fully fueled on stage separation, which is going to happen right about now. There it goes. I try and do a little bit of a Korolev cross. Doesn't really completely work out, but it's close enough. So now we're firing our center core, which has 16 vectors on it, so all sorts of power on this thing, but it still is not going very fast. This thing, I'm playing it back at 3 times speed, and we are not really moving. So once we deplete the 16 vectors, we're going to get rid of that stage, and then we're going to fire up our second stage, which is going to be, I believe, 7 vectors, so even more vectors. And once that stage is done, then we're going to fire up our third stage, which is a Rhino. So this thing has all sorts of stages galore here on this thing, as we kind of start to finally get ourselves pitched over and start accelerating a little bit towards orbital velocity, because, yeah, thrust rate ratio isn't really great on the center core on stage separation, so we do have to kind of do a little bit more of an aggressive ascent. And then once we start to burn off some fuel, as we've done, we're about half of the fuel burned off, this thing can start going a little bit speedier, just a touch faster. And while we accelerate here at this stage, I would like to quickly do the plugs. I'll try and keep the plugs pretty quick here, guys. But oh my gosh, guys, subscribe button. Trying to hit 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so we'll see how that works out. Let's hope, you guys are awesome. I don't know, we'll see. Thank you guys, everyone who has subscribed or anything. I also have a Discord server, pretty awesome Discord server. We're really close to 1,000 members. I really hope we can get that next few days. So thank you everyone who joined the Discord, or liked, or commented, or subscribed, or just watched the videos and enjoyed them. I don't know if I'm thankful for people who didn't like the videos. I don't know. At least you watched them, right? Or, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. But either way, bottom stage is now depleted. We can stage that away. We can fire up the vectors, which even have a lower TWR. But the real thrust rate problem really comes with the Rhino stage, which really only going to use the Rhino stage as an orbital insertion stage, because it really doesn't have enough thrust to weight ratio to actually boost, or to actually serve as like a proper, like a, I don't know what you call it, like an acceleration. I think you know what I mean, right? We can only do it after we've set our, or burn it after we've set our lap. So now we're setting about 20 degrees of pitch. We're also trying to get out of the atmosphere. We're pretty much out. The atmosphere is basically negligible at this point. We're at about 58, 59 kilometers here. So I'm trying to pretty much fly as flat as possible here. We're about 20 degrees nose up. I do lower that pitch a little more. And now we can actually kind of see basically the rover, basically the whole setup here. There's quite a few different features to it. The whole kind of looks like a mess of just random crap here, but I'll talk about what each individual like building and different thing is, and once we get out to the Mun. Yeah, so I could have done a build time. I don't know if you guys want to see the build time lapse for this one. It was really long. It took over an hour to build this thing and a half hour to build the launch vehicle. So that would have been a really long build time lapse, and this video would have got really stretched out. And I feel like my videos have been too long recently. They've been hovering around that 20-minute mark, and I try and keep my videos around 15 minutes in length. So I succeeded in this one, right? So yeah. So there we go. The stage has now depleted itself. I've said depleted so many times in this video, but yeah. So now we have our apoapse at about 110 kilometers. We can get ourselves circularized. We have 500 meters a second in that Rhino stage, and we only need about 100 meters a second to get ourselves circularized. So really, we don't even need half the fuel in that thing. So yeah. So I guess that's a bit of a plus as we get ourselves rotated very, very slowly towards the maneuver node. I don't remember if I show an inside view, but the inside view, especially on those top tower things, those top landing or Mark II command pod tower thingy-mabobbers that you can see there. It's like there's 3 of them. The view is really cool out of them. I show the view a little bit later in the video when you go to the Mun and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I can kind of give you guys a general tour of what we're looking at basically here with the rovers. So basically, a general overview is there's those bottom section with the Mark III crew cabins. That's supposed to be like where the crew stay. There's a lot of room for crew, so that's where basically the crew can go. That's where the crew quarters are. That's where they can hang out. I don't know. That's where the cafe is or something where they have breakfast and whatever. And then the top area is basically where all the activities and stuff are. There's not really activities. This thing is mainly a functional type of a base situation here. Like there's science stuff and there's more stuff. I'll give, like I said, a little more detailed tour of the thing when you get close to the Mun. But we are now starting to get close to the Mun, or get close, you know. So we're gonna start planning our translunar injection. The way we're doing our the rest of the burning at base, the rest of our rocket setup, or I guess it's a spacecraft. I don't know. When does it end being a rocket and start being a spacecraft? Like for this one, like, I mean, the Saturn V had the 3 stages, and then it had the Apollo spacecraft, which is where, I mean, that's a pretty distinctive point because they were 2 separate systems basically. But like, is the, I don't know, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, but. Either way, we're now starting to do our translunar injection. We have another onion stage set up here, so those 2 side tanks are pushing fuel into the center tanks. Those side tanks are going to do all of our they're going to do our translunar injection burn. They're going to do our circularization burn around the Mun and our deorbit burn. And then we'll leave that center core, which is going to do our landing burn at the Mun here. Only powered by 4 Wolfhound engines, which doesn't seem like enough, but it actually is enough to get ourselves landed on the Mun. Because this rover isn't actually that heavy. It doesn't have too much fuel on it, and it's mainly just like structural panels and crew modules and stuff like that. So there we go. We can get ourselves set up to a nice low Mun orbit. We can get ourselves we're actually going to set up our maneuver node first, and then we'll time warp down to the Mun, or up, or however you want to. Depends on where you're looking, right? There is no up and down in space. There is just awesomeness. That doesn't make any sense. If you want to download the rover, I'll leave a craft file in the description if I remember. I've been trying to remember my craft files, but the problem is, like, when I go to upload the video, I'm like, all right, video is done. I'm gonna go relax now, take a nap or something like that, because I'm usually really tired after videos, or I have to go stream or something like that. So then I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should probably put the craft file. Then I'm like, I have too much other stuff to do. I'll do it later. And then later comes and goes, and I just forget about it. And then I see comments at like midnight or 2 a.m. when I'm responding to comments, and they're like, hey, where's the craft file? I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 2 a.m. I'm tired. So I usually say I'll do it in a bit to those people. So sorry if I said I'll send you I'll put a craft file in, and I never did. So yeah, sorry if I've been a little bit slow to respond to comments as well. As you can imagine, the channel's been growing quite a bit lately, so I've been getting quite a few extra comments, and also doing a lot of polls that have gotten pretty long comment answers to, like I asked which is better, the Buran and Energia or the NASA space shuttle, and I got a lot of people who like responded in like these really long, well thought out responses that were like 4 or 5 sentences long, and I'm like, I'd love to respond to all those, but like, I mean, I have been. I've been giving like 1-2 sentence responses, but I'd love to actually be able to address all the points and, I don't know, either agree or disagree or whatever. But I mean, it's just not possible, sadly, anymore. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. Either way, we're now just starting our landing burn onto the Mun. I had to start the burn a little bit early, just obviously because the thrust rate ratio on those 4 Wolfhound is not great. They're trying to push this entire rover all the way down to the surface. So here we are now, just the last few meters a second to slow down. We have to kind of kick the thing forward right at the end. Just so it actually comes down onto the wheels and not onto the back, which obviously is a bad thing. It's kind of hard to control the thing, especially when you're at a low throttle setting, because really the only way of controlling it is with the gimbal. So here you are, just dropping it down to 1 speed, and there go the engines hitting the ground, and then it can kind of flop forward and kind of just kind of come on down. There it goes. Totally NASA-approved procedure. That's obviously how they land the Mars rovers. You just kind of drop it onto the surface at 10 meters a second. Either way, we're now starting to roll back a little bit, so I have to kind of try and throw the brakes down. That doesn't really seem to do anything, so I do end up just firing the engines a little bit to kind of stop the thing. And then we are going to decouple the thing, and then we can get ready to do our tour, right, guys? Oh my gosh, most exciting part is the tour. So we can go ahead and transfer our Kerbal to an actual place that she can EVA and have a little walk around the premises or the place. So starting here out at the midsection here, so we have a little building. We have two little buildings around here, which I say are like mission control and like you know, just general control, or maybe like a lobby or something. And then we can just go into here, which is the restaurant. Oh my gosh, guys, there is a restaurant in our little rover thing. It's not a very good restaurant. It's really janky to get into, but see, here's some tables. You can have a look at the restaurant quick, and then we can head back out to the midsection. You can see there's that open 5-meter fairing. That's actually our landing pad where you can land stuff on. And this is the top area. This is the command pod, command control area. There's little with fuel cells in the back, which kind of control the thing. There's little, like, I guess meeting room up here where you know, control the things. And yeah, there's 3 of those little pod areas over there. So that's basically the gist. Here's our little rover thing. This rover is made for exclusive use on top of the big rover. This thing is supposed to be like a getting around tool. As you can see, we can walk it up to the launch pad, and then we can drive it around also head around to the back where our final big gimmicky thing awaits. Yes, there is a little bit of a platform here on the back side of our little rover city thingy majuga baba dooba dooba, whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. It's called, and there goes the rover, just kind of falling off the side, just casually kind of falling. We have a quick save, so I'm not really worried about it. So we have a little bit of a drone here. That's pretty cool, as it kind of falls off the thing because it didn't have any electric charge. We just kind of had to let it sit there in the sun for a bit, and then it can pop back up and actually do a little bit of a flight. It only had half its fuel. I don't know where the other half of the fuel was. Maybe we accidentally drained it during our flight or something. But yeah. This thing is a little drone. It can fly. It actually has enough delta V to. It can pretty much go to. It can go to Minmus and back. It can probably go to Ike and back from here. It can go pretty far. It could actually even deliver a payload. It could actually fly back to Kerbin. It has enough fuel to do a Kerbin landing as well. Obviously not a takeoff, but yeah. So I'll just fly it around here for a bit. It's normally supposed to dock to the back, but I'm gonna go land it on the front, the main landing pad, because I thought we could use it. I was originally gonna actually try and get a big craft and kind of land it on the landing pad, but I unfortunately ran out of time for this video, so I'll try and do that in the future in an upcoming video, and we'll just sneaky bring a little thing in there. So I did say this was the last gimmick. There's actually one more gimmick. I know this thing has so many gimmicks. Since there's so many dumb gimmicks, they don't need to be there. But hey, they're fun. I like gimmicks. I really like doing interiors. I wanted to kind of emphasize the interior on this thing. Too bad I'm not good at doing interiors. All I can really do is make a table and chairs. That's literally about it. If you look to the left there, you can see that little heat shield with the cargo thingy on it. That thing is very important because that's where all of our repair kits are located. Because if the wheels break or if anything breaks, if I break anything, we can get repaired and get stuff fixed if we need. So we have a lot of repair kits in there, like a few tons of repair kits. It's actually kind of funny, but hey. We have made it back here and landed. So now we can get our Kerbal as it whacks into the engine, and that is our final gimmick. Final little gimmick of the day is this thing has a rocket mode. So normally you can, like, you know, drive around, turn, do fun stuff. But if you want, there are these 2 Mastodon engines down the back, and they have about a combined 200 meters a second delta V. So if you want go on a little bit of a joyride, you go on a little bit of a you know, you have a need for speed or something, you can enable the rocket mode, and you can go pretty fast. I was trying to get the advanced grabbing unit to get onto this thing because this thing isn't normally supposed to meant to land here. It's not really at the right height, so we'll just let the drone hang out on the side of, you know, on the ground while we do our while we turn the throttle up. I'm trying to think of some like cringy thing to say sarcastically, but I don't know. Here we are. Here's some. I just switched to the internal view. That looks really cool, doesn't it, guys? You can see like the whole thing. I think it looks pretty epic. But here we go. Firing the engines, and oh my gosh, we've already started flying. There's the internal view, yeah. And boink, fully intact right now. And this is where it is. Oh yeah, not intact at all. We actually didn't even lose that much stuff, but you know, enough stuff for it to kind of be, you know, kind of unusable. So the back kind of got messed up too, but we can just reload the quick save, and that can bring us to the end of today's video. So sorry for the kind of abrupt ending, but that's going to do it for today. So I'd like to thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Please rate or comment to this video. Once again, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. And bye.